Leader of Christian world Pope Francis laid to eternal rest at St. Mary Major Basilica. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus joins world leaders in funeral. Bangladesh lost over 2,26,000 crore taka for tax evasion in 22-23 fiscal research CPD. Jamaat is in favour of 5 years tenure of National Parliament and President. Reform initiatives are long cherished desire of common people, says NCC Vice President Ali Riaz. Ex-Forces Association demands quick execution of verdict in Major Sinha murder case. Gunfire on Kashmir border, Indian and Pakistani citizens returning home following cancellation of visa. UN urges both for maximum patience. Massive explosion at Shahid Rajai port in Iran kills at least 4, injures over 500. And Mohammedan Sporting Club, Abahuni Club and Ograni Bank Cricket Club have won their respective matches in Dhaka Premier Division Cricket Super League. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to News at 10. I'm Mahmoud Rahman. Those were the headlines. Let's move on to details of those and other stories. Pope Francis was laid to eternal rest in Rome today after a Vatican funeral ceremony at St. Peter's Square, attended by hundreds of thousands of mourners and world leaders. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus joined the world leaders and paid solemn tribute at St. Peter's Square and took part in funeral ceremonies. Nobel laureate Professor Yunus joined the Mass directly from Doha, where he was on a state visit to attend the Earthna Summit. Pope Francis, who always had empathetic relations with the poor and marginalized people, was one of the most prominent patrons of Dr. Yunus's 3-0 theory. The Vatican said more than 50 heads of state and 12 reigning sovereigns took part in the funeral ceremony at St. Peter's Square. After a solemn funeral in front of hushed crowds, Francis's plain wooded coffin, a testament to a life of humility, was driven slowly to Rome's Santa Maria Maggiore Basilica, where he was interred in a private ceremony and laid to rest. He is the first pope in the span of 100 years who has declined to take final rest at St. Peter's Basilica and expressed his last wishes to take final rest at Rome's Santa Maria Maggiore Basilica. Francis sought to steer the century-old church into a more inclusive direction during his 12-year papacy, and his death prompted a global outpouring of emotion. Around 4 lakh people packed St. Peter's Square and lined the streets in Rome to say goodbye to the Argentine pontiff, a champion of the poor who had led the world's 1.4 billion Catholics since 2013. Ahead of the funeral and after the service, Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus exchanged greetings with some of the world leaders, including the UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, EU President Ursula von der Leyen, former US President Joe Biden, President of Finland Alexander Stubb, Kenyan President, Montenegro President, Grand Duke and Grand Duchess of Luxembourg, President of Ecuador, President of East Timor, Prime Minister of Honduras, President of Iceland, President of Portugal, the King and Queen of Belgium, Prime Minister of Belgium, Prince Albert of Monaco, Prince and Princess of Norway, Prime Minister of Tunisia, Prince and Princess of Liechtenstein, Director General of WHO, President of IOC Thomas Bach, Foreign Ministers of Sri Lanka, Bahrain and Syria, former US Secretary of State John Kerry. Uruguayan Foreign Minister Maria Lubetkin called on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at his hotel in Rome on Saturday. They discussed various issues, including Rohingya crisis, increasing business and investment to the both countries. Cardinal Prefect of the Dicastery for Interreligious Dialogue, George Jacob Kuvakad, calls on Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus at his hotel in Rome on Saturday. Bangladesh lost an estimated 2,26,236 crore taka in revenue during the 2022 to 2023 fiscal year due to tax evasion. In 2012, the amount of tax evasion was 96,503 crore taka. Over the span of 11 years, the amount of tax evasion in the country has more than doubled. Private research organization, the Centre for Policy Dialogue, CPD, revealed the information recently. CPD Research Director Convocation Muazzam said that this situation presents a major challenge for Bangladesh as it is in the process of graduating from the list of least developed countries. He said high tax rates, weak monitoring, complex regulations and widespread corruption within the tax system are the main causes of tax evasion. To address this challenge, the researchers have recommended enhancing institutional capacity, improving the digital infrastructure of the tax system and undertaking policy reforms. Convocation Muazzam also opined that the government is also losing a large amount of revenue every year due to incentives and tax exemptions alongside the tax evasion. Environment, Forest and Climate Change and Water Resources Advisor Sayyida Rizwana Hassan has urged meritorious students to lead the sustainable and nature-based development to build a new Bangladesh. She made the call at an award-giving ceremony at Purvachal in the capital today. Daily Star arranged the program to confer the awards among the O and A-level students for their commendable results. The advisor laid emphasis on abandoning consumerist outlook and ensure less pollution, recycling and fair distribution of resources. She called upon the students to build mentality to work for the country side by side, taking higher education. Development does not only mean purchasing flats and cars, rather building nature-based conscious life, the advisor said. Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul and Daily Star editor Mahfuz Anam were present on the occasion. At the program, 2,391 students received General Award, while 176 others got award for World Standard and Country Best Results. On the other hand, 6 students received recognition for their highest performance. The local government ministry will provide several thousand jobs in the next 2 months. Local government advisor Asif Mahmood Shajib Bhuiya made the disclosure to newsmen after visiting the recruitment exam centre of Polli Daridra Bimochon Foundation, PDBF, at Shere-Bangla Agricultural University in the capital today. Replying to a query of the journalists, the advisor said that the government is working sincerely to resolve the recruitment-related complexities. He also replied to the questions of the newsman on contemporary issues. The advisor informed that he could not provide his statement of assets as he did not have tin as he was a student. BNP has held a meeting with the visiting delegation of the Communist Party of China. The meeting was held at a hotel at Gulshan in the capital this evening. A 7-member delegation led by BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir took part in the meeting. An 8-member delegation led by Peng Ju Bin of the Bureau of Southeast and South Asian Affairs and the International Department of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China took part in the meeting. Besides Mirza Fakhrul, Standing Committee member Nazrul Islam Khan, BNP Chairperson's Advisory Council member Ismail Jobiullah, BNP's Law Affairs Secretary Barrister Kaisar Kamal, Foreign Affairs Advisory Committee member Humayun Kabir, Media Cell member Mahmouda Habiba and BNP Chairperson's Personal Secretary and former Secretary of Bangladesh Government ABM Abdus Sattar were present. Among others, Chinese Ambassador to Bangladesh Yao Wen were also present at the meeting. Earlier on Friday, a Chinese Communist Party delegation came to Dhaka. On the second day of the visit today, the delegation held meetings with various political parties. Jamaat-e-Islami Bangladesh today agreed to keep the tenure of National Parliament and President of the Republic unchanged and the party also agreed to constitute bicameral parliament. The party shared its observations with NCC at a meeting in Jatiyo সংসদ's LD Hall in the capital. National Consensus Commission's Vice Chairman of NCC, Professor Dr. Ali Riaz, chaired the meeting. A 10-member Jamaat delegation led by its Naib-e-Amir Dr. Syed Abdullah Mohammad Tahir and Secretary General Mia Ghulam Parwar represented Jamaat. Commission members Dr. Iftikharuzaman, Dr. Bodiul Alam Mojumdar, Justice Mohammad Emdadul Haq and Safar Raj Hussain and Chief Advisor Special Assistant Munir Haider were present. Dr. Ali Riaz said the initiative of state reforms by the interim government is actually the result of the people's long-standing aspirations as political parties, student community and people from all walks of life demanded it. Regarding the issue of preparing a national charter through discussions with political parties, Ali Riaz underscored the need for preparing a national charter within the shortest possible time. The recommendations of the Reform Commissions have been sent to 39 political parties in the form of spreadsheets seeking their respective specific opinions. The National Consensus Commission has already received opinions from 35 parties. So far, 17 political parties, including Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami, have participated in the discussions with the Commission. Education advisor Dr. Chaudhry Rafiqul Abrar said that the interim government aims to develop an education program that will be scientific and serve as a tool for establishing social justice. He made the remarks today while speaking as the chief guest at the third convocation of Central Women's University at the Officers Club in the capital. Environment advisor Sayyida Rizwana Hassan was the convocation speaker at the event, while social welfare advisor Sharmeen S. Murshid was the special guest. In her convocation speech, the environment advisor said that the purpose of education is the pursuit of truth, commitment to justice, and fostering responsibility towards society and the environment. Sharmeen S. Murshid said that women are progressing in education, which is extremely positive for the country. A total of 684 students from 5 departments of the university were awarded undergraduate and postgraduate degrees. Among them, 29 students received the Vice-Chancellor's Award. Computer Science and Engineering Department student Sadia Afrin Neela delivered the valedictorian speech at the convocation. The Ex-Forces Association has demanded swift completion of death reference hearing of Major Sinha murder case and quick execution of the verdict. The demands were made by convener of Ex-Forces Association, retired Lieutenant Commander Mehdi Hassan, at a press conference in Dhaka Reporters Unity, DRU, at Shegun Bagicha today. Five people were killed and one person injured in a collision between a CNG auto rickshaw and a pickup at Rubber Garden area in Rangamati. The accident occurred at Bedbunia area of Kaukhali Upazila on Rangamati-Chattogram Highway this morning. Locals informed that the CNG-run auto rickshaw collided with a pickup at Rubber Garden area on its way to Chattogram. 3 people died on the spot, while 2 others died on way to hospital.
টেবিলে খাবার রাখা আছে খায় নে মা আমি এই খাবার খাবো না কেন তাইলে গন্ধ হইব কেন
কি হইছে লক্ষ্মী মা